Right now, a final farewell to a Wisconsin firefighter killed in the line of duty. How members of the Madison Fire Department have stepped up to help.
And why honey production continues to slide in the state of Wisconsin. A local expert blaming the so far unusual spring weather.
Plus, a warning for any bargain hunters out there looking to score a cheap deal on third-party travel sites. A local woman's call for action is coming up.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 10.
Thank you for joining us tonight. It has been an emotional day in Appleton as the city says goodbye to a fallen hero.
Firefighter Mitchell Lungard was shot and killed responding to a medical emergency last week. Tonight, a visitation and funeral service honoring his service. The husband and father of 3 was killed in the crossfire of a gunfight between police and a Wausau man who also died in that exchange of gunfire. Lungard was a 14-year veteran of the Appleton Fire Department, becoming the first firefighter in that city in 86 years to lose his life in the line of duty. From the church tonight, fellow firefighters transported Lungard's body back to the funeral home for a private service. Hundreds lined the streets to say their final farewells. Governor Tony Evers signed a statewide order last week to fly flags at half-staff until his burial.
5 members of the Madison Fire Department are on their way back home tonight after spending the day in Appleton. They made the trip to fill vacant spots to help out during today's ceremonies. All 5 crew members who made the trip actually used to work in Appleton. A wrongful death suit in the Sun Prairie explosion will move forward. Abby Barr, the widow of a firefighter who died in the explosion, and 2 firefighters injured, are suing multiple companies. Authorities say a miscommunication between 4 companies led to the explosion after one of them unknowingly drilled into a gas line. Attorneys for the companies asked for the case to be dismissed, citing firefighters' rule, which prohibits first responders from seeking damages in connection with performing duties. The judge denied that motion, saying she needs more information to make a ruling on public policy, given the extraordinary circumstances of the case.
Madison police make an arrest today after they say a woman threatened to shoot up Jefferson Middle School and, quote, started on fire. That woman has been identified as 35-year-old Adrienne Harris. According to a letter sent to families today, the principal says Harris was being disorderly in the entrance of the school after not being allowed inside. She's facing charges of disorderly conduct and trespassing. In Mosinee, in the Wausau area, the city's middle school is on lockdown for about half the day as police investigated a threat sent over social media this morning. That threat came in a post on Snapchat claiming someone was going to bring a weapon to school. After hours of investigating, police say they believe it was created in a different part of the state and is not credible.
The Southern Plains is a dangerous place to be right now. The National Weather Service posted an unusually strong warning for the region, a high risk of potentially dangerous storms that could bring tornadoes and flooding. Numerous tornadoes have already been spotted today in Texas and Kansas. For a look at our first alert forecast now, here's Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti.
Well, we're very fortunate. We're on the north side, or will be on the north side of that storm system with showers and thunderstorms later tomorrow into tomorrow night, but right now they're not expected to be severe tonight. Look at all the severe weather reports from the central and western portions of Texas through northern Oklahoma and into the southwestern portion of Missouri. A number of tornado reports, including near Joplin, Missouri, also back to the south and west of Oklahoma City, all the way into central portions of Texas. High-resolution Doppler radar right now, still some tornado warnings in effect for parts of north central Texas. Also, severe thunderstorm warnings basically almost in a solid line from the western portion of Texas into parts of Missouri. There are tornado watches in effect into the early morning hours. Still a high risk of severe thunderstorms and tornadoes from southwestern Oklahoma into north central Texas, with moderate to enhanced risks extending as far eastward as Arkansas. Tomorrow, the severe weather threat shifts toward the north and east into Missouri and northern Arkansas, but Madison should be north of that severe weather threat area. While we'll still see some thunderstorms, they're not expected to be severe. Low temperatures this morning started out around 40 degrees. The cool weather is certainly keeping us from severe weather and has been so far this spring. Our high temperature only made it up to 58 degrees. It was actually a little warmer to the north where there was some sunshine today, and current temperatures now are in the 40s to around 50 degrees. By morning, those temperatures should be down into the middle 40s, but look for some showers, perhaps even a thunderstorm late in the day tomorrow. It'll be windy and cool again with a high temperature of 56. That's your News 3 Now First Alert forecast.
Gary, thank you. Today is World Bee Day, and though honey production in the U.S. is going up, here in Wisconsin, the trend is the opposite.
Amy Reed joins us now to explain why we're seeing this downturn.
Another reason to be frustrated by this wet weather, Eric and Charlotte. Farmers are blaming this for why their hives are struggling to meet previous honey yields, but the experts say they aren't worried.
Bees in Wisconsin are having a tough time, from mites to viruses and now poor weather. Honey yields in Wisconsin are at a 10-year low.
Past year, Wisconsin's honey production in 2018 was 2.3 million pounds of honey. That was down 23% from 2017.
It's affecting local honey producers too. Last year, we told you about Mad Urban Bees in Madison who had to shut down operations. They said it was due to climate change.
Weather was a big factor in it last year. We had a cool, wet spring and followed by a few hot weeks in June and July that were extremely dry, so that affected the production.
He also said some bad weather in places producers keep their bees in the winter, like Florida, led to some of their bees dying. Nationally, producers aren't having the same problem. Honey was up 2% from 2017 to 2018, and that nationwide trend is what's keeping experts in Wisconsin from being worried.
Year-to-year fluctuation isn't a cause for concern. I think, you got to look at the historic trend nationally.
Bustler told me there's not much consumers can do to help Wisconsin buck this trend, but he said it could help for people to plant more flowers in their yard.
The old tornado sirens in Monroe are on their way out. The city says their current sirens are 50 years old and they will be replaced by Thursday with new federal signal sirens. In addition to the replacements, a new siren is also being added north of Highway 11 to cover newly developed areas. Residents should expect to hear a siren test once the new system is installed. President Trump is planning to officially kick off his 2020 campaign next month with a blitz of campaign rallies.
Tonight, he was at a rally in Pennsylvania as his legal team hits a speed bump. A federal judge ruled against the president in the financial records fight with Congress. The judge says the accounting firm Mazars needs to turn over Trump's accounting records from before he was president to the Democratic-controlled House Oversight Committee. The president has attempted to block the committee's subpoena. Ford Motor Company will be cutting upwards of 10% of its global salaried workforce as part of a larger restructuring plan. That's about 7,000 jobs that will be lost by the end of August. About 2,300 of those are here in the United States. The company says it will save them about $600 million every year. Ford has been restructuring operations globally to improve profitability and speed product development. 14 therapy dogs who have been working at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Florida have been given their own page in the school's yearbook this year. The dogs have been on campus now since classes resumed after the shooting at Parkland, which claimed the lives of 14 students and 3 staff members last February.
The Verona School Board went into a closed-door meeting tonight to discuss the fights at the high school earlier this month. Cell phone video of the chaotic scene shows large groups of students throwing punches and yelling while staff members attempt to break it up. During the open comment session at tonight's meeting, some parents expressed concerns. The board then adjourned into a closed-door session around 9 o'clock to discuss disciplinary action against the students involved. We have a wonderful follow-up to share with you about a Do Something Good story you saw only on News 3 Now 1 week ago. Wallersheim Winery and Distillery in Prairie du Sac created a limited edition whiskey with all the proceeds going to the Wisconsin Department of Veterans Affairs. The big sale was this past Saturday, and despite the weather, all 504 bottles were sold in just 2 hours. At $100 a bottle, Wallersheim presented the WDVA with a check for more than $50,000. Still ahead at 10, a break today from the rain, but the chances will be returning. Gary will have your forecast for the week ahead.
But first, a warning tonight about booking flights on a third-party website. A local woman's call for action coming up next.
Lots of us use third-party sites to book our travel, maybe for Memorial Day weekend plans or your summer vacation coming up.
But a woman here in Madison says one of those sites messed up her plans, tried to send her very young daughters overseas on a separate flight, and then took years to correct that costly mistake.
Leah Lynchide has some advice for us next time we book a flight online in tonight's Call for Action.
I think I have enough.
It has been 3 years since Asmaret Adhanom, alongside her 3 daughters,
This, and I here.
flew back home to Ethiopia for her brother's wedding.
You cannot skip wedding and funeral. Everybody has to be there. That's my little one.
Over 3 years, her 3 daughters have grown up. 2 are in their teens now. Her brother went on his honeymoon. Her family returned to the States. While much has changed since that trip, one thing hasn't. Asmaret is still out thousands of dollars over a travel plan that put her daughters at risk.
How can 5 years old separate from her own mom, flying another airport without the parents? How?
In July of 2016, Asmaret and her daughters checked in with Qatar Airlines at O'Hare. That's where she learned they hadn't been booked on the same flight. This is what they told her.
You're 5 years old and you're 11 years old going to another airport. Me and my oldest daughter going to another airport. I was like, what? You know, I was so mad.
Asmaret had booked her flights through Cheapo Air online. She says she even called multiple times to make sure things were in order. Her last option, to make sure her youngest daughters wouldn't fly overseas and into a different airport all alone, was to buy 2 more tickets on the spot. And it cost her
$2,200. That $2,200 was supposed to be pocket money for me to spend over there, not to buy a ticket.
What if she wouldn't have had the $2,200 to spend?
Tiffany Schultz with the Better Business Bureau can relate to that panicked parent feeling.
And I have 2 little ones too, and there's no way I would do whatever it takes to, get my kids on the same flight. I'm not putting them to a foreign country in a connecting airport. Absolutely not.
But she doesn't necessarily suggest third-party travel sites are the problem.
There's people that have great experiences through those third-party sites. There's Expedia, there's Booking.com, there's CheapCaribbean.com, CheapoAir.com.
BBB hasn't had any complaints related to Cheapo. We checked with Wisconsin's DACAP. It has 3, all listed as billing issues. Here's a look at other complaints filed against travel sites. So, some advice from Schultz when it comes to online booking. Do your research. Check social media for posts from the company, along with reviews and online complaints.
Most of all, if you can't verify a company's existence, no news is necessarily not good news. If you can't verify it, move forward with extreme caution.
Make sure to check on extra charges. Third-party sites may advertise a price that excludes other fees, which can really add up. It's also not a bad idea to double-check a third party's deal with the airline's website, then book directly with the airline to avoid any problems with the middleman.
I don't know what they want me to send.
3 years and no resolution for the thousands Asmaret lost through Cheapo.
They say, oh, okay, we're going to give you the money, but you have to send us this, have to send us this.
Until News 3 Now gave them a call. Just this week, the company agreed to pay Asmaret the $2,200 she'd spent through them, noting because the case was so old, employees struggled to find verification that she'd ever been on the flight.
That's frustrating. Very frustrating, sad.
With 3 young women on her hands, Asmaret's at least happy to have her money back for her next trip home. With this Call for Action report, I'm Leah Lynchide for News 3 Now.
In an email to News 3 Now, Cheapo Air apologized for the miscommunication with Asmaret.
They said, quote, "This is no way reflective of our company's normally stellar customer service and values."
Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti joins us now with a look at our forecast.
Well, things pretty quiet out there. It's been on the cool side, but cool is good when it's in severe weather season compared to what's happening down south. If we take a look at Doppler track, there are some showers moving into parts of southern Iowa and west central Illinois, but the air across Wisconsin is still pretty dry, so these showers really get cut off pretty quickly on the northern extent. Eventually, the atmosphere will moisten up to the point we'll see some of those showers and a few thunderstorms eventually reach us. In fact, the very latest computer model forecasts are indicating about a ½ inch to an inch of rain over southern Wisconsin. This is through early Thursday morning. Heavier amounts of 1 to 2.5 inches are more likely down across parts of Iowa and Illinois Illinois, where the atmosphere will be a little more unstable, and there's even the possibility for some severe weather, say south of I-80 in northern Illinois. Live view from the Edgewater Sky Cam downtown Madison. Just a thin overcast right now. Our high today only made it up to 58 degrees when normally we should be at 70. Another cool spring day. Our low of 41 also below normal. Right now our temperature is at 49 degrees. Skies are mostly cloudy. There are a few breaks from time to time. The air is calm. The humidity at 77%. High temperatures today, well, again, we should be around 70. These numbers are nowhere near it. 58 here in Madison. It's actually a little warmer in the northern part of the state where there was some sunshine. Thicker cloud cover kept temperatures mainly in the upper 50s from Madison southward. And current temperatures are actually being held up now because of the cloud cover. 50s to our south, around 50 here in Madison. And then you get in the northern part of the state and temperatures drop into the upper 40s. As we take a look at weather track, you can see those mid and high level clouds, the offshoots, those big thunderstorms down to the south, and a very powerful jet stream that digs in off the west coast, drops down into Mexico, and then heads northeastward, pulling in moisture from the Gulf of Mexico, bringing down cold air on the backside that's changing the rain to snow in the mountains, and a huge severe weather outbreak taking place from Missouri back through Kansas, Oklahoma, and down into Texas. Notice how these thunderstorm cells are a little more individual. Those are what we call supercell thunderstorms that have been producing tornadoes all afternoon and evening. But again, the track of this weather system will be just to our south. It'll keep us on the cool side of the storm, so I'll see some showers, maybe a few thunderstorms. The severe weather is expected to stay farther to the south. High pressure is also keeping us relatively cool and funneling those easterly winds. Those winds will pick up in speed tomorrow. In fact, we'll be looking at winds 25 to 30 miles per hour at times, so that'll just add to the chill. And these temperatures are cool through much of the Midwest. South of a stationary and a warm front to the south, that's where the temperatures are in the 70s, where the severe weather threat is highest. Notice the dew point temperature is approaching 70 in southern Missouri. That's almost tropical air, while the air across Wisconsin and the upper Midwest much drier with dew point temperatures in the 30s. So on future track, you can see the rain showers perhaps reaching southern Wisconsin tomorrow morning, a better chance for a shower or thunderstorm tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night, and then the winds shift to the south and temperatures jump up into the 70s on Wednesday. So look for mostly cloudy skies overnight, seasonably cool, low temperature dropping to 44. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy. We'll see some scattered showers, maybe a thunderstorm late in the day. It'll be windy with a high of only 56. On future track, the clouds thicken up tonight. Most of the rain stays south of the Wisconsin-Illinois state line overnight, but then showers move in tomorrow morning. We'll see some showers, thunderstorms later tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow night. And then those winds shift around to the south and skies clear out on Wednesday. Temperatures jump up into the upper 70s. And again, rainfall amounts probably about a ½ inch to an inch before it ends early on Wednesday morning. After that, we have a couple of warm days with highs upper 70s to lower 80s. As we head toward the Memorial Day weekend, there will be some chances for showers and thunderstorms, but much of the weekend will be rain-free. Saturday should be dry. Sunday and Memorial Day Monday, a chance of showers and thunderstorms at times, but much of the rest of the time dry, and then a little better chances for rain the middle of next week. Temperatures, though, staying in the 70s. Feel much more comfortable.
All right, Gary. Thank you.
Thanks, Gary. You can tell school year is almost over because it's time for the spring tournament season now. We'll have more on that just ahead. Stay with us for sports.
Save
You can tell we're getting close to the end of the school year. Tonight it's regional competition, the WIA Track and Field Championships, the first step to a state track meet, which begins a week from this Friday. There's a Division I regional in Middleton tonight. In the girls 4x800 meter relay, the home team has the lead, but on the exchange, Madison Memorial takes the lead and wins the race to qualify for the sectionals in Verona Thursday. But Middleton comes back in the boys 4x800 to win that heat ahead of Madison West and Verona, getting third. The regional team winners tonight are the winners of the two races, the Memorial girls and the Middleton boys. Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals tomorrow night in Toronto. The Bucks lead the Raptors 2-1. Game 4 tips at 7:30 tomorrow night. Game 3 last night, the Raptors won in double overtime. Bucks didn't play very well, but still almost won. That Kawhi Leonard fellow is pretty good, and defending him will be the big challenge for the Bucks.
I don't know if we can go any harder at Kawhi than we are. It's the fourth game. I think the adjustments, there's always things that we can do better, and it may be an adjustment. It's probably just doing what we've been doing better.
He's going to force his way to the paint. He's going to force his way to his spots. He's going to shoot contested shots with 1, 2, sometimes 3 or 4 guys on him. He's going to hit some, he's going to miss some. I mean, he's a great player. You can't stop great players. You're going to make it tough for him.
Brewers are back from their 10-game road trip. No game tonight, though. Tomorrow night, they'll begin a homestand with the Cincinnati Reds, 6:40 first pitch at Miller Park. Cubs are back home at Wrigley Field, too, against the Philadelphia Phillies. Phillies were leading 3-1 bottom of the 8th when they misplayed Daniel Descalzo fly ball. 2 runs are in to tie the game, and watch the relay throw to get Descalzo at third. Hits him in the foot and goes to the dugout. Descalzo gets a Little League home run. Now it's tied 4-4 as they play in the 9th. Packers had their first organized team activity practice in Green Bay today. Tomorrow's 1 o'clock practice is open to the public, weather permitting. OTAs means another step in getting used to new head coach Matt LaFleur and a new offensive system. That's a challenge even for a veteran like Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, everything's new for the offensive players, so we're working through the playbook. It's just a fraction of it right now, which is actually nice for a lot of us who've been in the system for a while, myself especially. So yeah, the plays look great on the film. It's going to be kind of incorporating them with the guys that we have and finding who those guys are who run those plays best and putting our best players in position to make an impact on the game.
Badger volleyball star Dana Retke is named to the United States national team. She's the youngest U.S. player to compete in the FIVB Volleyball Nations League in Bulgaria. Retke joined Lauren Carlini as the only Wisconsin players to compete with the U.S. national team in an FIVB level event. An NCAA softball regional final today. Big Ten regular season and tournament champion Michigan is out. James Madison beats the Wolverines at Ann Arbor 2-1. There are still 2 Big Ten softball teams alive in that NCAA tournament. Minnesota and Northwestern are in the final 8, and we'll be right back.
Gary's here with a final check of your forecast.
Things pretty quiet out there. It's been cloudy much of the day. We had a little sunshine later this afternoon, but the clouds are starting to thicken up. There are some rain showers to our south, but it'll take a while before they get here. Better chances for rain arrive probably late tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow night. Temperatures right now are pretty cool, upper 40s to around 50 degrees, and by tomorrow look for a high of only 56 with a brisk easterly wind and those showers, maybe even a few thunderstorms. It'll be windy and milder on Wednesday, though. Those winds out of the south will boost us up to 77. We'll be around 81 on Thursday, just a slight chance for a shower or thunderstorm Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Then a chance of a few showers and thunderstorms Friday for the Memorial Day weekend. Shower and thunderstorm chances Sunday, Memorial Day, but much of the time it'll be rain-free. Saturday should be dry. 70s continue into next week, which is good news there.
All right. Gary, thank you very much. And thank you for joining us for News 3 Now at 10.
Do something good, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.